What's up, everybody? This is the Classic Tycoon here, and we're back for episode 7 of the Three Monkeys Park Let's Play series. In the last one, we built the river rapids, and those are up and running, and we also built this launch free fall right here. So those are going right now, and I think they should be running pretty well. Not super popular yet, but you know, there's a lot of pathways in this park for guests to get through to get to rides anyway. Looking at our guest count, we're at 980-ish right now, so that needs to be going up. We are in September right now of year 2, so starting to get into a little bit of crunch time. Not too bad yet, but we're just going to keep running advertising campaigns probably for the duration of the rest of the series here, to make sure guests get in the park, and they leave at a pretty high rate once you start getting up into these numbers. So it can be tough to keep the guests in the park. But there might be a few things that we can do to alleviate that, to help keep guests in the park later. So we'll talk about that in another episode. Alright, today I would like to build some go-karts. I think that's going to be the main thing for this episode here. So I think I would like to kind of weave it through the Coliseum wooden roller coaster right there. And so this will probably be the entrance area, and it'll probably be a fairly short track, not too long. The go-karts, now I know certain rides do get boosts for having extra long tracks, and I think the go-karts are one of them. But the problem with the go-karts is how long it takes for the ride to finish. Guests get really unhappy waiting in line for the go-karts because the ride, it takes so long for the other guests to finish the ride, because having 2 or 3 laps, which I usually do 2 because 3 usually ends up being way too long of a wait time for guests. Yeah, it's just too much. But we'll make sure to put an entertainer in the line as well, and that should help with that. And if I feel like I have to in the future, I can increase the number of laps to 3. So we're going to put this up and over the roller coaster here, and then we'll just kind of loop it back around and bring it home. A fairly basic track here, nothing too crazy, just didn't line up right here, so I'm going to go back. But yeah, I mean, there's not really anything special you can do with the go-karts. You can put them underground and stuff like that, but it's just a little bit too much work, so this is good enough for me. So let's go ahead and throw in everything that we need to right here, and then we'll get this thing going. You can't test the roller coaster or the go-karts without guests, so we'll open that up while I put in the rest of this here. And those are now built, ready to go. Let's go ahead. We're going to use the entertainer that is in the queue line for the launch free fall, and just interlock that. So we've got one entertainer taking care of both lines, and that should be, hopefully that should be enough. We'll check back on that later if I remember, and see. You know, we might have to pick and choose which line it'll be in depending on how happy guests are. Just checking out the launched free fall line, though, it doesn't look too long. I don't even know if we need the entertainer in there, but we'll leave it for now, as our guest count, you know, keeps rising. That should be good, though. Alright, so we're still kind of waiting for this line to fill up here. So while we do that one, we just change the look of this a little bit. And accidentally closed it, reopened it. Okay. But they are off now. So this guy can't afford the go-karts. Go-karts, they're only $2 right now. But we're saving up a little money, and we'll probably build a roller coaster in the next episode, since we got the cash to do it here. Well, let's wait and look at these test results here, and then we'll adjust the price accordingly. You can see that brought up the excitement rating of the roller coaster there by 0.4, so it's a pretty significant bump to that excitement rating there, which is good. And that's why I like to kind of weave rides together like this. It really helps out both rides' excitement levels. So you can see our guest count has gone up to 1055. It's going to be harder and harder to keep that. You can see there's no arrow next to it. Usually when you're really gaining a lot of guests, there's an arrow bumping it up. So we got to really make sure that we keep these advertising campaigns going, because if you just let it go for, you know, a month, you can lose a lot of guests because they're just going to start leaving. While we check out, yeah, and you can see we do need, it's not just a set amount of guests, so we can't just like put a no entryway sign right at the front of the park and keep guests from leaving. If we were absolutely desperate, you could probably do that in like the last week, just to, you know, if you were at like 1390 guests and you wanted to absolutely make sure that you made your goal, you could probably do that. But we'll we should be okay. So we've got a roller coaster in the works here. I'm going to discontinue all researching except for roller coasters. That's all I want to build for the rest of the time, because those will hopefully attract more guests along with the advertising campaign. So the next one we'll get going on another roller coaster, and trying to finish up this park and get everything going. So thanks for watching this one, guys. Give me a like if you liked it, and I will see you in the next episode.